on, everybody? This is DJ Barrage.
And your boy DJ Pkilla.
And welcome to Two Scoop.
Yeah, man, welcome. We got a lot of stuff coming up. You're going to love it. Stick around with us. You already know.
All right, so this is the first recording that we're doing. So this is going to be a new experience for both of us. You know, we know each other for a long time.
Yes.
We talked about trying to get this together for a while, but things kept popping up. So finally, we are able to get this going, and hopefully we'll have a lot of fun and a lot of information and entertainment for you.
That's right, man. And just like he said, just touching a little bit on that, you know, it felt like there was a lot of obstacles for us to get to where we're at right now, but we are here, and we're here to stay. We have a lot of content that we want to be providing to you, and it's all about you guys. So if you guys have any questions or any comments, please, below the video, drop them below, and we'll make them better for you.
And yes, and also please remember, if you like the video, to hit the like, subscribe, and share with everybody, okay? So that helps us out a lot. So I guess I'm going to start off with a little bit of background about ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm born and raised right in Pennsylvania. As far as DJing goes, I learned about DJ back in the 80s with my cousins, older cousins. They were at DJ and went down there, and they had the turntable, the old 1200 and everything like that. And I asked for one, how does this work? And he showed me how to scratch, and then that just kind of took off for me from there. So I wanted turntables, but I didn't get them, for a long time, but I still practiced and everything. And then, sometimes hop on some friends' turntables when they were doing gigs and things like that. And much time passed up into 2008. Then I was asked to DJ at the Sheriff's at the time, Camp Plaza, Saturdays. And, so I was just using it. I was with Bob Tier, Party People. So with that, started DJing on a regular every Saturday night. Didn't have any music, but you have music and stuff like that. I was laptop, and I got a little Newmark controller. I forget the exact type, but it was a small thing. You could load some music into it, but that was process because you had to spend some time to analyze and everything. And then, but then also got speakers. Decided to jump into the mobile DJ game, and soon after that, getting hired to do like weddings and parties and things like that. And then everything just kind of progressed from there. Newmark came out. We'll talk about Newmark. That's my brand. So for the most part, but they came on the digital turntable that were motorized platters.
Yep.
Brought back that same old scratch feel that I was used to and everything. And so just kind of keep going, and hope to do a lot more. I need to get into the mix game. And more so with creating content on YouTube, just playing some mixes, things like that. But I specialize open format DJ in general, but I do have a focus on old school hip hop, R&B, Latin music, salsa, bachata, merengue in particular, and also the electronic music, EDM, anything like that. So that's my thing. So that's a brief summary of my story as a DJ.
No, that's pretty good. My story is very simple. I started off when I was like maybe 12, 13 years old, here in the city of Reading. I wasn't born and raised here in Reading. I was born in Yauco, Puerto Rico, and I was raised here in Reading, PA. And for me, it just happened. I wasn't planning to be a DJ. I always used to write, music and this and that. And one day, neighbor was like, "Oh, I'm having a party. I don't have no music." I had a computer, had speakers, so I took that to the house. I always had good music. I played that off of there. I liked it, and from there, I was like, I need to get into this. Started meeting DJs around the city. At that time, I didn't have equipment, was rolling with them, using their equipment, learning from them, and things like that, and that got me to where I'm at now. Now I own my own business. I provide sound. We provide, DJ services, photo booth services, pretty much everything, but I specialize in hip-hop, reggaeton, salsa, merengue, bachata, just like he said, and pretty much anything, old school, freestyle music, anything that is danceable, I could probably play it for you. But yeah, it's pretty short story. Grew up here in Reading, in the 400 block of Pear Street, and then moved on to, just stayed around the whole area in the 6th Ward area. Then from there, we moved on up to, Front Street, Pleasantville Street, and things like that. But yeah, everyone that knows me, they know me that I'm from the north side of Reading. And all the parties that I did, man, were crazy. And I'm sure you know about crazy parties from back in the days because they're not like they are now. Everything is completely changed.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just the whole vibe of things. And I'll be honest with you, coming up learning on wax, on turntables, on records, and now I look back on that, and sometimes I think like, how do we even get through that? Because with the computer, this device right here, the music is stored inside of it. You want songs, just type in what you want, everything's sorted out. It's the BPM, you know what it is, and it's real easy. And if you make a mistake, it's easy to recover from a mistake, hit a button, whatever.
Yep.
Sometimes the software that's available now will even help somebody who has no experience prevent them from messing up. It'll keep it nice, tight, and everything. But when it was with the turntables, I used to jump on my man, one DJ Joe Love back in the day, but another one is Cooley Kurt as well. So Cooley Kurt sometimes say, you want to hop on, this dude's in in a nightclub or bar or whatever. And I said, yeah, sure. So you'll have crates with records, and he'll say, okay, this is the new stuff. This is hip-hop R&B, this is reggae, this and that. Okay, fine, And then I'm like, okay, pull up a record, throw that on there. You want to play with it? You play with it if you want to. You want to do something acapella, beat, whatever, fine. But you had no room for error. You had to keep, and the people dancing, you had to keep that going. So, and you had a needle too. This thing, they smack this around, whatever, no big deal. But you had the needle, so you had to make sure that didn't skip or anything like that. You didn't come in clumsy.
Yeah.
And then put this next record here, this next record here, figuring out everything is by ear because you had to use a pitch. That was it. There wasn't, you didn't really know what the BPM was. There's no BPM match or anything like that. And so you had to hear that.
Yeah.
And then it came to a point where you develop an ear, you just feel like if it's kind of like coming out of sync a little bit. If you're doing some type of mixing, and things like that. So, so it's just kind of amazing where we've come so far with the technology.
Oh yeah, now with the technology now that we have now available, it is so easy for anyone to become a DJ. I have friends of mine that they just play music. They don't like to call themselves DJs. They just call themselves what they call in Spanish sonidista, which is a sound person. They provide a sound. But, it's easy nowadays. Like you said, you press one button. If you mess up, the software will automatically pick it up, fix it for you. But like you said, back in the days, you had to be on point. You had to be on point because if anything happened, you were getting booed.
Yeah.
You were getting booed big time. Especially, with the vinyls and everything else, like everything was crazy. Talking about carrying crates. I remember one of the first DJs that I met here in Reading, his name was DJ Scratch. He lived on the 100 block of Hudson Street, the corner. And he always used to bring his turntables outside on Saturdays. And I always used to be the first one there. And he always used to say, before I get on, try mess with this, mess with that. And I didn't know what I was doing at first. You know what I mean? But little by little, I started catching on. You know what I mean? And I loved it. I loved everything about DJing. I've met a lot of great people in the DJ business. And, I've met some people that are, not good to be around, but, in the long run, I think everything worked out for me and it worked out for him too. And now we're able to provide you with this podcast, which is the Two Schools Podcast. And this is what we want to share with you. We want to share with you experiences, things that we went through. And so you don't have to go through them type of things. So if you're a DJ and you are looking to get on, let me tell you, it is not easy. Not easy. Anyone can play music. You have to learn how to read the crowds. You have to be able to play the right music. You have to make sure you're mixing and you're syncing everything at the same time. So it's possible to do. It's not impossible, but it's not easy. So if you're a DJ out there, we recommend for you to watch this. And for everyone that is not a DJ, we got a lot of stuff that we're going to bring to you that it's going to be amazing. You probably might hear us, going back and forth in a few different matters because he has his own different process of thinking. I have my own different thinking process, that might clash every once in a while, but that's good because that's going to be great content.
Oh, no, because there's that time, he was at the Lake Scar Lounge, and that's the first time we ever played.
Yeah, together, yeah.
Yeah. We had fun with that night, so.
Oh, yeah. No, that night was crazy, man. Shout out to Rick, man, and everybody out there too, man. It was the first time that we got to DJing. And I was kind of nervous. I mean, I've never DJed with him before. I don't know how it's gonna be, but everything was just like, second nature. I got there, we set up, we were ready to go. By the time we looked at the clock, it was already almost 1 morning. We was done. I was like, that's it. You know what I mean? We just got started. You know what I mean? But it was a great experience. And yeah, man, we're here now, and we're gonna provide the best content that we can for you. And we're also gonna bring different types of businesses around the area. Anyone that has a business and you want to be a part of this, please reach out to us in our social medias down in the comments below. Share this video with your friends and family members and let them know that the Two Schools podcast with your boy DJ Pkilla and DJ Barrage.
Yes. And also, I would like to add a little bit more to this. Besides DJ, I have a business that I'm working on, Perspective Unlimited Drone and Multimedia Services. So I also create content. That's what I'm doing right here. So I'm a one-stop shop. So I have the cameras, drone photos, and the beats, everything. So, and we can do things really, really nice too. So hopefully I'm going to show you some of that a little later on. All right. So, that's our little intro. So we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. See you on the other side.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Two Schools podcast with your boy DJ Pkilla and
DJ Barrage.
And like I said, going back to what we were talking about earlier, man. We talked about where we came from, how we started DJing and things like that. We still got more to share, so we're only giving you like bits and pieces. So, pay attention, all right? And we have a lot of things that we want to talk to you guys about. Like, for example, experiences that we had while DJing or helping to DJ at a party or at an event or anything like that. Like the whole process on how everything worked and why people say, why do you charge so much? Well, we're going to break it down on how and why we charge our price, and we don't let anyone tell us how much we're worth because we know how much we're worth.
Yeah. As far as the pricing goes, before, well, one thing is about the equipment that you have. You have to regard the equipment, wear and tear, things like that. So when DJ first started, it would have been okay, the turntables, the speakers, the records, so the risk of anything happening and all that stuff. And that was the analog days, basically. And probably one thing they probably had to worry about was records, especially you DJ outside and you mess around, let that thing in the sun or something, it warp coast. Ooh, yeah, the records get that little warp and everything. The other thing also is DJs, hip hop type DJs that want to be turntables, do a lot of scratching. Well, then, you wear down a record, so they have to replace. And also, back then, as far as just really messing around with scratching, things like that, so DJs had to buy two records, two the same copies. So we'll just buy one, and then you're done. So you're doubling up. Then they also came with the record pools back then, too. That kind of helped, but you never know what you're going to get. It's like buying baseball cards. They get here's 5 records or something like that. Sometimes a single, sometimes an album. What you're going to get.
Yeah.
They had hike to get your stuff. There was no downloading. My cousin. All right, little funny story. So, my cousin, he wanted to get a mixer. So this was down at Pastel Projects out South Philly. It's not there anymore, but it's down South Philly. And now it's totally different. But that's where he lived at. And so one day he wanted to get this mixer, and this mixer, they had a new feature at the time where like echo and things like that for the microphone, So he's hyped to get. So all right, so we decided to go get it. Now here's the thing, we're teenagers. There was no, just jump in the ride and drive to the store real quick and get the thing. No, it was trek, all day trek. Walk to the bus stop.
Yeah.
Bus over there. I think I only had to take 2 buses or whatever to get to Center City, Philadelphia. Yeah, get to there. So we get there, get to the store, tells the guy what he wants. The guy prints out the mixer, is in the box. You see, the picture on the box. Mm-hmm. Pulls it out, says what you want. Shows it to him. Slides it back in, pays for it. That trek all the way back to the crib and everything. He gets it, pulls it out, plugs it in, and he's looking at it. He's like, "Wait, something's happened. Well, something wrong here." So it turns out the guy sold the version of the mixer that didn't have that. You pay more money for it though. See, then you look at the box. The box had the two pictures, one with and one without.
Oh, wow. So he didn't know what he was getting. Y'all didn't know what y'all was getting then.
Well, the guy pulled it out, but he only showed the side of the mixer that would have had that on.
Oh, he pulled a sneaker maneuver on you guys. Okay, I got you.
Got him.
Wow.
And everything. And then, like I told you, there was a trick, so it was not going, we were just going to turn right around and go back. Nah, that wasn't happening. You know, so no, you wasn't. That was it. You just got you. So.
Yeah, let me tell you. Now that you say that, it reminds me of a time when I decided to go out and spend money and give myself a pair of turntables. This was past already vinyls and that, but we're talking about CDJ. You know, when the CDJ started coming out, I went out and I got me the Pioneer CDJ 1000s MK2, and you know that it was all CDs. So it was the same thing when you're buying vinyls. When you buy a CD. You could buy a whole album and you could only play 2 songs of the album because the other songs were not being played on the radio at that time because radio wasn't as popular as it is now.
Yeah.
So I got the turntables. I had them for about a week. Did 2 parties. On the third party, you know, when the CD gets stuck in there and I'm in the middle of a party mixing and I'm trying to eject the CD out of the left platter, and I'm pressing, nothing happens. I'm turning it off. I'm looking at the timer. It's running down. It was at 5 minutes. By the time I looked, it was at 4 minutes. I kept pressing again, 3 minutes. Then it gets down to the 60-second time, and I'm already freaking out. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Well, you know, like every DJ does, you have to improvise. You have to use what you got. As soon as that song was playing, everybody, how y'all doing out there? Everybody good? Oh, yeah, everybody drinking? Blah, blah, blah. While I'm changing the same deck, changing the CD on it while I'm talking. So they don't realize that there's a problem going on because I don't want them to know that, you know, I just bought some crappy turntable that cost me like $1,000 and now the CD won't even eject out of it, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, at the end of the night, I only use that one side. At the end of the night, the disc decided to come out, never came back on. I plugged it in, never came on. I didn't know, I thought I was buying something brand new, but it was something that was refurbished at that time. And I didn't know what that meant at that time when refurbished was. I thought it looked brand new. I'm like, oh, this is new. No, they got me there. But it's all good. You know, those are some of the experiences that we go through. But now let me get a little bit into topic about, you know, what I was saying about why we charge so much, that you think that we charge so much and why we stick to our prices. Well, you got to understand, we're every day working with music. We're fixing our libraries every single day. We're making sure that our equipments are all working in proper order, you know, that nothing is broken, no cables, you know, cables are very expensive if one go bad. Speakers are really, really expensive. You don't want to go in there with, you know, with small speaker. You got to make sure you bring a good sound setup. So when you're doing the party, you know, the party turns out to be great and it don't sound like crap. You know what I mean? That's another reason. You want to give them a couple of reasons on why we charge so much for you guys?
Yeah. The other thing also now, in the digital era, you know, so you don't have the records. You don't have to worry about needles per se. Although some DJs will still use like 1200s and them connected to a computer. But now we're bringing a laptop. A lot of DJs are bringing a laptop. Now this one doesn't need to have a laptop, but I still use a laptop. So now you're talking about a $700 to $1,000 more laptop. You know, have to invest in that if you don't have it. The laptop has to be able to run the software. So depends on the software. Now I use Virtual DJ. You know, I mess with Serato, but I use Virtual DJ. That does a whole lot. I had to purchase that, you know, to get the license for it. Then you have also nowadays like Tidal, Deezer, Spotify, that Amazon Prime. So the music streaming. Now you say, well, what does that matter? Because this controller, as well as Virtual DJ, I can connect to those accounts for Tidal, things like that, and play music straight from there. So I don't have to, you know, download a lot of music. You know, I can play straight off of that. Now, of course, you run the risk if you don't have your own music because you're going to have to use Wi-Fi and if anything happens. But usually that's not going to happen, you know, and I have a hotspot on my phone. But even before that, even though the records went away, but you still had to get the music still in the MP3, you know, you still had to purchase that or you know, however that has to happen. So there's always a consistent investment into what you're doing if you want to stay on top of everything. And then there's lights, you know.
Oh man, no, don't even go there right now. That's a whole different topic right there.
Lights, you know, because now back in the day, DJ was a DJ and that was it.
Yep.
But then, you know, and a lot of them, they probably played in nightclubs, but then they made lights available for DJs that are smaller or a lot of things. So you have to do these big club lights or anything like that. But it still costs some money, you know, may have a nice little light show and everything. So you have that, you know. So it's just a matter of just pretty much getting a return on investment, number one, in what we do. And also, you know, you have to just kind of stay on top of things, you know. Anything can happen, you know, if you have a failure or something like that, you know, or you want to just get something new, you know, sometimes this type of thing, I like a turntable, the old analog turntable. These run has software, has updates, things like that. After a while, the companies may decide, okay, we're not going to support that anymore.
Yep.
Or whatever may happen, you know. So, or you get a new computer, Macs are notorious for this. They update their OS.
That's it.
Your software or your controller no longer recognize it.
Yep.
Now you're stuck. Now you got to figure what do you want to do, you know. So it's always evolving. And not only that, now I have the virtual headset, the Quest 3, you know, they have software in there, the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
I tried it. I put my own songs into the Quest, and I'm inside here, you know. Now that's another opportunity because you also have DJing where, you know, one try that out too, but you can stream. So it's possible for literally somebody could be a DJ and they can stream to some nightclub and they'll just be on the screen or just play the music and he's where he's at home or a studio or whatever, things like that. So there's a lot that you can do.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes behind the scene as far as like getting everything ready, setting up, talking to the clients, making sure that the clients are on the same page, asking them for a playlist, make sure you download the playlist, that you have the music and everything else. You know, so like back in the days, I used to roll with like 2 or 3 different hard drives, and one of them was a duplicate, you know. And when one went bad, you had to be ready to have the other one because us DJs, we know when something goes wrong, it's not okay to panic. You have to improvise. You got to figure it out in seconds, because the last thing you want to do is have the birthday girl dancing on the dance floor and all of a sudden the music is gone. You know, and that's happened to everyone, even to the best. And it's happened to me a lot of times. So if I could prevent that from happening, we're definitely gonna do it. But there's a lot of things that we do and a lot of money that we spend behind the scenes that we're not constantly out there letting it be known. But you got to understand, some of these softwares are subscriptions only. You know, you pay a monthly subscription, you know, for a yay amount of the software. If you want the full, you have to purchase like a bigger subscription. So you see, there's a lot of things that go behind it of why we ask for those type of money and why we value ourselves, because we know what we're worth. We know what we provide, and we know that when we come to a party, we come to rock the party. Exactly. Bottom line.
Exactly. Yeah. So, so it's just, you know, there's always going to be money that you have to invest into your business. And that's just business 101. You know, if you don't invest back into it, then, you know, you're going to fall off or fall behind. And the people will go elsewhere for what they want.
Yeah, that's right. Because if people don't know you have a business and you're not putting your word out there, then you're not going to know. But if you definitely want to put your word out there, contact us. We'll put you here in our channel, in our podcast, and we'll make sure that clients come to your door, knocking on your door and say, hey, Pkilla and Barrage sent us there. We'll be right back.
All right.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back, man. It's your boy, DJ Pkilla and
DJ Barrage.
And we were talking about, you know, experiences and talking about when we first started DJing and things like that. Let me tell you, this is not only about DJing and sound and lighting and stuff like that. We're going to talk about different types of topics, and he's going to tell you what kind of topics we're going to be talking about. Like what? Let him know.
Oh, wow. Well, it's going to be a lot. So it's not just about DJing. We will talk about music. We could talk about artists. We could talk about, what's happening or what has happened. We can talk the new to the old, you know what I mean? That kind of hits some of the classic stuff. We could talk about the history of DJing, the disc jockey. So it wasn't just about scratching and turntables and stuff like that.
Playing
Say, it predates even the crossfader and all that stuff. So there's a lot to it. And also, I want to talk about some equipment I use, equipment that he uses, things like that. The evolution, kind of touched on that already, but there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, and we're going to have a lot of different types of discussions that, that they're going to be completely different. Like, for example, he uses virtual DJ. He thinks virtual DJ is the best. I use Serato. I think Serato's the best. Doesn't matter what we say to each other. We're always going to believe ourselves when it comes down to software, you know what I mean? It's pick and choose, what makes you feel better. People love them all. I've tried virtual DJ. I don't think it works for me. I'm sure he's probably tried Serato. It doesn't work for him because he's still in the virtual DJ. But, we got a lot of things that we're going to talk about. And also, we might bring some special guests too, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Hope to have some guests come on. And not just DJs, but, people who are into music as well, overall.
Artists that they can draw, dance, anything.
Yeah, anybody, with a creative spirit. So hopefully we'll be able to bring them onto the show as well.
Yeah, so if you know anyone, please share this with them and let them know what we got going on. Hey, maybe we could send them an invite. You can see them here sitting right next to us. But we have a lot of stuff that we got coming. And I want to say thank you. This is our first podcast. We are still trying to work the kinks out of everything, and it's going to get better. It's going to get better, and we're going to provide you with the best quality content that we can provide to anyone. And we're just glad that you're here. And if you hit like, share, and you comment, that's going to help us tremendously. And once again, I can't stop saying this. If you have a business and you want your business to be heard, this is a great opportunity for you to put your business out there. How do you do that? You contact me directly or you contact him directly. We will work out a way. We'll put you on a schedule. We'll come talk to you in person. We'll come see your business. We'll try your products and everything else. And then we'll give fair reviews. We'll give the truth about our reviews, and we'll have you come here, sit, talk with us and things like that. But get with us. You want to get your business out there, you got to talk to us and make sure you get on this podcast, the Two Scoop podcast with DJ Barrage and DJ Pkilla.
Yeah, and also we do hope to also take the show on the road too. There are a number of places locally, and we're in some other spots, maybe get outside the city as well. Whether we are going to be doing doing a show or just pop in and say hi.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely look to make this a very successful endeavor for ourselves and for you. So please join us, and also don't forget to subscribe. Okay.
That's right. Subscribe, follow, do it all. Show us some love, show us some support. We definitely, respect, you guys taking your time out of your busy schedules to stop by and watch this video. Thank you again. And I can't stop saying this, but welcome to the Two Podcast Show with your boy DJ Pkilla and DJ Barrage. And it's going to get better. It's going to get crazy. So all we're asking for is for you to just sit back, relax, drink some coffee, eat some food, do whatever, and check us out.
Yeah, hopefully you won't forget his controller next time.
That's right. I did forget my controller. I'm notorious for that, okay? But I do have an excuse, a very good excuse. I always have an excuse. Always. But, bottom line, I will bring my controller here so you can see the difference between my controller and his controller, because there's a lot of differences. This is a great controller. When I checked out this controller, when I went to his house, I fell in love with it. Fell in love with it immediately. Why? You don't need a laptop. It's light. Like my Pioneer DDJ SX3 is probably 2 times or 3 times the weight of this. This is probably about 10 pounds, 15 pounds, that's all. Or not even.
15, 20, something like that.
Yeah. So it's different. So we're gonna discuss about those type of things and different types of softwares that you can use and different types of devices, controllers. There's so many out in the market, and we're also going to be sharing with you secret places that you can get it for the low and without having credit.
And also, we will be doing some spinning. Yeah. So don't think this is all talk. No, we're gonna do some mixes.
Yeah,
Of course, some mixes will get down. So definitely. So look out for that as well. All right.
That's right. That's right. And we might have some guests come and do it too. Who knows? So tag a DJ, a friend of yours that you know, and let them know that the Two Scoop podcast is now available on YouTube and in all social media platforms. Stick with us. Stay with us. You have a business, hit us up. Your boy DJ Pkilla.
DJ Barrage.
Two Scoop podcast. Peace.
Next time.